The World Bank Group's International Development Association, or IDA, recently released a retrospective on IDA20, a financing cycle launched at a moment when countries were facing overlapping crises worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic. At a time when decades of development progress were being reversed, IDA20 helped countries invest in jobs, infrastructure, financial access, and resilience across 78 low-income countries.
I've been reflecting on IDA20 retrospective, and what stayed with me mostly wasn't only what was achieved, it was the scale of what still lies ahead. And as a champion for youth, what stood out for me is how much progress came from investing in people, especially women and the youth. Jobs were created, businesses grew, and opportunities opened up. But the report makes one thing very clear: we need to move further and faster on jobs.
And not just jobs through programs or institutions, but jobs created through the private sector. We see young people building businesses in media, in fashion, agriculture, and content creation. And as those businesses grow, they create opportunities for others too.
Young people already have the ideas and the ambition. What they need are the skills and opportunities to turn those ideas into sustainable livelihood.
But too often, those businesses struggle because of barriers like limited access to finance, weak infrastructure, and unreliable electricity. IDA recognizes these challenges as major obstacles to growth and job creation. Under IDA20, 24.6 million people and businesses gained access to financial services, nearly 5 times the original target.
Another major takeaway was how fragility, conflict, and violence are shaping development outcomes more than ever. Nearly 40% of IDA20 resources went to fragile and conflict-affected countries. And today, almost 2/3 of people living in extreme poverty are in these settings, which is why IDA21 continues to prioritize tackling the root causes of fragility and instability.
This connects deeply to my own experience while working at the United Nations. I met a girl who had fled conflict. She was able to return to school, rebuild her confidence, and begin again. Her story showed me that the question is not only whether people survive, but whether systems allow them to rebuild their lives with dignity.
I think stories like that remind us of what IDA's work is really about, and reinforces why long-term investment in countries, communities, and people matter. For me, the biggest lesson from the report is this: impact isn't only about delivering projects, it's about creating pathways for the next generation.
Pathways to jobs, to stability, to opportunity, and ultimately to a future where young people have the tools and support to shape their own futures.
The lessons from IDA20 are clear. The next step is turning that progress into even greater opportunity for the next generation.